discipline is everything to me. It's something that I have to learn to embrace at a very early age. If not, I wouldn't be here today. I've gone through so many, pivotal moments in my life that if I didn't have discipline or if I didn't work towards building discipline, I would have, again, not been here, right? I grew up in a neighborhood where drugs, violence, and gangs were a norm, right? And I did get caught up into some of those things growing up. But thankfully, I was, you know, with in a loving family, right? Who loved me, who encouraged me, who reminded me that, Ram, this is not who you are. I don't think this is the potential that we see that you're meant to unlock, right? And so Muay Thai and faith were the two that really changed my life, and delving into those things built those disciplines, being able to acknowledge what I needed to do to change, to be able to accept it, and then be able to commit to it. And that's the beautiful thing about discipline, is that it enabled me to sustain myself, to keep me in the fight at all times. Because, when life hits you harder, you need that discipline to keep you in that fight, right? And so I had to learn, the hard way, I would say. And here I am today, being able to, be who I am, as I am known as the fighting minister.
Yeah. And you mentioned like the Muay Thai and the faith, which I feel like is represented so well in that name. And, a lot of people, when they hear that word discipline and they hear what you do, they could be intimidated or think like, how could I, like, what does that even look like in my daily life? Like, how can I apply that to my life in whatever my work is, in my family, my career, my business? Like, so what do you see as discipline in like our daily actions in daily life? Like, how does that show up for you?
And I think, discipline isn't about, rising to the occasion, right? I think discipline, you actually fall back to how you were trained, right? So when I'm thinking about discipline, you're able to do the things that you need to do, the things that you value, the things that are important, the things that are meaningful, especially in moments when you don't want to do it, or when your mind is telling you, do it another time. But you recognize and acknowledge that this is important, and you accept it. And then you're able to commit to it. And discipline keeps you again in that fight, and it allows you to stay in that rhythm of life that is so important. Because in that rhythm of life, we're able to truly embrace what life has to bring. That's the wins, that's the losses. Those are the decisions that we have to make that could be right and to be wrong, right? And, discipline allows us to remind ourselves that, in those moments where we win and we, experience such joy, that we can, embrace it, but not necessarily be attached to it, because we still have a journey to keep going. And we say, great, I'm on the right path. But then on the other side of things, the moments where we lose, the moments where we suffer, the moments where we find ourselves stuck, we're able to not get stuck into it, and to be able to say, this is part of my journey. What can I learn from my suffering? What can I learn from my pain? Why did I fall this time? Right? And discipline allows you to ask those questions, to say, okay, what does this mean for me? How can I grow from it? And then again, you return back to the rhythm of life. And I think that's what I love about Muay Thai and martial arts. It's so big about finding rhythm. Because in Muay Thai, we teach how to hit, and we also teach how to defend. But it's the rhythm that truly connects both of them, right? To be able to know when it's time to go, when it's time to take a step back, to reset, to take a deep breath, all for the purpose for winning the fight and coming out victorious. And I think what I love about Muay Thai, it really connects to our life. And that's what I always, try to share with the youth, that life is like a fight, right? And there are going to be rounds that you win. There's going to be rounds that you get hit so hard that you might not even want to get up, but you keep on going. You keep getting up, right? Every time you fall down, you get back up, right? And so, I think that's what's wonderful, is that discipline keeps you going, and it keeps you moving towards what you truly deserve, which is being champions in the ring and also outside of the ring in your own life, right? And I've been able to kind of see and experience the beauty of combining both Muay Thai martial arts and spirituality. And it's really the key that saved my life. And now I'm in a position where the two things that saved my life, spiritual care and martial arts, now I'm in a position to give back to those who are most vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, to the youth at the shelter who are navigating and experiencing homelessness, who are survivors of sex trafficking, who are facing so much complex layers of pain, right? You know, not only, again, are they, you know, experiencing homelessness, they're facing addiction, you know, they're facing brokenness. And so not only are their bodies bruised, right, but their souls are so hurt, right? And I see that because I remember being in that position.
Yeah.
And I knew that I had to fight for my life. And I knew that it was me that had to choose to fight. And it was me that had to choose to get up every time I fell back down. Or when my mind was saying, Ram, just give up. There's no point. You know, just settle for what you have now. I'm like, no, there's something more. And now I've gotten to a point where I want to help others do the same. And I think that's the great thing about it, is to be able to inspire the next generation, especially through the life that I live.